All right. Welcome everyone to this week. I think this is week 6. Yes, wow. Week 6 of the summer course 1102. Crazy. It's almost over. It's really wrapping up. Um you are getting ready to finish SA2, and then all we're doing is working on SA3. After this, let's look at our list of assignments and due dates. Um, okay, so look, this week I'm gonna go over some essay ones, some examples. I'm gonna go over an A example, a B example, a D example, and an F example. I'm not going over a C example. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need to do for essay 2. I'm going to talk about how you cite a film in your essay, and I'm going to go over some outlines and some tips. Okay, so now next week, there's going to be some changes. All right. First off, next week, I will be out of the country, but I'm bringing my laptop. Okay. And I won't be gone the whole week. I'm going to post a lecture. I'm going to answer some emails. And then on Friday of next week, I might have a live lecture as sort of a, if anybody, I don't know, I might put a feeler out there if anybody wants a live lecture next Friday. Your essays are due on Monday, and my goal is to still be grading them throughout the week, but they probably won't be done until Friday of next week. Also, what I'm going to do is so quiz 6 has been canceled. All right, and now I'm going to turn outline essay 3 into extra credit. All right. I really want you to write an outline for every essay you write for your entire college course. Like not this course, I mean your whole time in college. I believe that you should always write an out. I always write an outline if I'm writing anything. I mean, I outline lesson plans. I outline my day. I even have like an outline to do of what I'm trying to achieve today. And so I think listing what you're trying to achieve is always really good, and checking it off. And an outline really helps you keep you organized. So I want you to just feel naturally that you should do an outline for essay 3. Okay. Um, but I'm not going to require it because I want you to move into that phase of doing it for yourself because you know it's the best thing for you and that it is the best way to organize your essay and to keep yourself on track. All right. Now, I am going to still give you an outline of the way I expect essay 3 to be organized. All right. I'm still holding you to an accountability of it being organized the way that I lay it out for you. And I'm telling you right now, the main reason I do that is because it reduces cheating. It reduces AI usage, which I want to show you an example of a paper that to me, I feel like someone used AI on, which I can't prove, but their paper didn't follow my format. It didn't follow my outline. It didn't follow what I asked you to do. And so to me, that tells me that it was made up. And so I'm still going to give you an outline for essay 3. I'm still going to require that your essay be organized this way. All right. But you're not required to turn in an outline for essay 3. It will be extra credit. Okay. So like I'll put in a grade book out of like 25 points. And depending on if it's barely done, if it's just some stuff, I'll give you like 40, 50 points. If it's like really good outline, like a really, really, really well done outline, then I'll give you like 100 points, 100 out of 25. That's like 75 extra points. All right. And if you don't turn it in, then you'll just get excused. It will not go in as a 0. Okay. So that will be for the following week. And then after that, you'll have submit essay 3. All right. So it's crazy. We are almost done. We're almost done. Okay, so let's look at some essays. I'm going to begin with essay one of someone who made an A. All right, this person, Andrew Arnold, AAA. Not their real name. I've changed all names, but I figure since this paper is an A paper, both names should begin with A's. Andrew Arnold. All right, so this is an A paper. It did everything I wanted it to do. If you look at it, it's has MLA formatting is correct. They even, this is not required, but they even justified their sides. See, look, a lot of people just do the basic, and they do a line left, and while it's straight here, then it's all crinkly over here. It's like a jagged mountain range, which would be kind of ironic since this paper is about hills. But this person listened to me when I discussed how you should do justify, even though that's not required. It just looks better. It's a much better looking paper. Okay. Their lines are all correct. Okay. We have 0, 0, double. Look at that. 0, 0, double. Exactly how it should be. There's no extra spacing. The title is in quotation marks as I have instructed. Here we have a first quote. When the reader dives deeper into the meaning and reads in between the lines, the reader will notice that Hemingway writes in a quote distinctive but accessible style, along with his interest in issues of universal and enduring relevance events that society can connect with. I mean, that's a perfectly integrated quote. It doesn't have a capital letter because it doesn't come before a comma. We have the parenthetical citation. If I deleted the quote, then we would know something's missing. It wouldn't sound right if I deleted it. When the reader dives deeper into the meaning and reads in between the lines, the reader would notice that Hemingway writes in a that society can connect with. In a what? So we know that the quote is supposed to be there. That means it's integrated. If I can delete your quote and the sentence still makes perfect sense and it's complete, then it was not integrated correctly. Okay. We have reference to Stoic philosophy. Okay. And then we have, oh no. Savannah, can you hear me? It says my internet is unstable. Am I glitchy?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. You're good.
All right, great. Thanks. Okay. So then we have it being focused on feminism. All right. Feminists right here. Okay. So that is good. All that's good. The short story Hills Like White Elephants precisely displays a feministic critical lens of a woman who is questioning having an abortion. All right. Here we have another quote. Manipulation towards women can be found in different situations of literature by noting the behavior of male characters that use manipulative language and false sympathy to get what they want. George, period. All right. Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Here we have a quote that's been augmented. It's been changed. So we have the with the brackets. And then here we have a quote within a quote. They look like white elephants. And this person correctly uses the apostrophe singular, the singular quotation mark, the apostrophe inside of the quote. I taught that. I discussed that. That's absolutely correct. Good, good, good. Many people did not do that. They lost points when they did not do that. So that's very good. This essay follows the format where we have an introduction, okay, and then we have the discussion of the critical feminist lens, and then we have a discussion on Stoicism and what Stoicism means, and then we have it being related to the short story. Oh look, we have a correct usage of ellipses. We have a shortening of this quote. The boredom of the man and the desperation of the girl reveal the emptiness and the critical necessity of taking responsibility for the quality of one's own life. All right, that's very good. All right. So, and then we have the final paragraph is a personal reflection. As much as I want to plan for the future, I find myself relating to the philosophy of Stoicism, in which I am only guaranteed the current moment that I'm living in. Okay. So this essay follows the outline. It integrates quotes. It integrates quotes correctly. Quotes within quotes are punctuated correctly. We have parenthetical citations. And then we have works cited page. And if I check the works cited page, all right, let's see here. Cook, 2 results. Once there and once in the essay. All right, Evans, and I'm not gonna go through all of these because I already have, because I check. Evans is used there and it's there. Okay, there are no sources that were used in the essay that are not listed here, and there's no sources on this list that weren't used in the essay. Okay, we have proper title. Okay, the title of the articles are in quotation marks, quotation marks, quotation marks, quotation marks, quotation marks, and then the title of the publishers or the main source of the journal, whatever. Those are all. Oops, I didn't mean nimble. Are all in italics, italics, italics. Okay, it's all. That's it. I mean, it does exactly what it's supposed to be doing. All right. So this is what an A paper looks like. And this is exactly what I was looking for. And it follows everything I've gone over. I only take points off for things that I've specifically discussed or that are like basic grammatical or syntactical errors. Like I really only grade based on what's called, I refer to as middle school grammar. All right, very basic grammar components. Also, I take points off if sentences are written confusingly. I mean, you know, if you read the sentence and the wrong word is being used, then that's an error. Okay. And so this paper makes sense, but it's also not written by a computer. I can tell by the language is very, it's, I don't want to say basic, but it's just common. It reads like the way 1102 paper ought to read. Okay. So very good. Very good. Let's look at a B paper. Okay. Hey, buddy. A B paper. And here, this one has my comments. All right. It's right here. The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. This is the title of the book. Therefore, it needs to be in italics, not quotation marks. This quotation marks are for short stories or chapters from a book, not, hey, buddy, not books. Okay. All right. Same thing, repeated, the same error right here. Okay. All right. Now look at this error. The ellipses at the end of the quote. As I discussed per my lectures, do not use ellipses at the end of a quote. This one is correct. That's great. Yeah. Play interesting on its terms because of the continuing dearth of Black faces and voices and diversity. If you end the quote short, you don't need to put ellipses. So that was an error. Okay. This is middle school grammar. This should not be capitalized. This should be lowercase. All right. Lowercase. Fat is the title of the chapter. Therefore, it should not be in italics. It should be only in quotation marks. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna text my daughter to come get my dog. All right. Again, so see, these errors are like done multiple times. Okay. It's the same. I mean, I went over titles the very first week of school. All right. Now the rest of the stuff is the person does well. I mean, this person who writes is capable of writing, and they're following the outline. And they made the same mistake multiple times, but it's essentially the repetition of like two mistakes. Here we have this person did a good job. Black feminism is stated to be a quote social movement that focuses on the multidimensional aspects of the oppression of Black women in the United States and other countries. Wait up. Okay. Like that's well integrated. That's a good job. It's easier to learn how to fix this mistake. Just get it down. Just go back to to the notes. All right. It's harder to learn how to integrate quotes correctly. All right. So like the ability to do this still kind of outweighs these careless mistakes. All right. So that's good. That's good. Many informative books teach about an idea called existentialism, which is most known to be a philosophical, artistic, and literary movement that emphasizes individual existence and freedom of choice. Dive in. That's great. That's a good sentence. It's integrated well. It's cited. Like this is stuff that people need. I get more upset when people just are using drop quotes and they're not integrating their quotes than I am for people making these kind of errors. Yes, this error needs to be fixed. Those errors need to be fixed. All right. And by I say two, they should not be confusing how to write the title of a chapter or short story or article versus how to write the title of a book or a journal, a newspaper. Okay. But then like here, there aren't very many any other errors for the most part. Okay. Again, title is the same stuff. This one, Kirkus Review, this is an error that a citing error. As discussed in my lectures, if a source doesn't have an author, then you simply put in the title of the article it is from. Okay. So down here, when we check this, it's stated as The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by Kirkus Review. So that should be the title that's in the parenthetical citation right there. Okay. All right. All right, and then we have the final paragraph. I agree with the idea that we all have freedom of choice. It can sway the decision. It's personal. All right. So the essay follows the outline. It does what it's supposed to do. It integrates quotes. It has sources. It cites. All of these were used in the essay, and they all are there. Okay. The major issue, the consistent issue is titles. All right. So this is a B paper. It's not an A paper because it's not flawless, right? But it's definitely not a C or D because the errors it makes are careless, small, all right, and can be easily fixed. So that's a B paper. All right, a D paper by Lydia Smith. All right, and again, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, that's my paper, please don't think I'm an asshole or I'm a jerk. I changed your name. And I don't even know, like, honestly, when I look at these, like, I don't even know who these are now anymore. Once I changed the name, I mean, it's completely gone. I read so many essays over all the years, so I'm not picking on anyone. And in fact, actually, if, I don't know, if this is your paper, you should be like, oh, well, here I get him to like verbally, go over the stuff with me. And that's kind of cool. All right. So again, no one knows who you are. All right. All right. So, oh, okay. One of the things this person does, which is good, many people did not do. This is a constant error I saw. Many people, I'm gonna do a little mini lesson right now. Hold on. Okay. On possessions. All right. So many people wrote, Joyce Carol Oates, where are you going? Where have you been? Okay. And they put just an apostrophe here because there's an S right here. So they've been taught over the years, or they've seen it or whatever, that after an S, you just put an apostrophe instead of an S. Okay. And this is wrong. All right. So an S is added to show plurals. All right, multiplicity. An apostrophe S is added to show possession. All right. So then when you pluralize a word and add an S, okay, and want to show possession of something, an apostrophe S, then in that case, you only add one S and then the apostrophe. Okay. So for example, if I said that, let's say I have 2 dogs. Okay. So I have dog 1 and dog 2. All right. And I want to talk about them together. The dogs. All right. The dogs go out. All right. But then if I want to talk about how they share the same water bowl. Okay. I would write the dogs. Now, if I was gonna write how the dogs share water bowl, I would, you might think, okay, the dogs. So I'm combining dog 1, dog 2, so dogs, and then they share water bowl. Okay. Now, that's incorrect because I've added 2 different. I've added these 2 S's, so I just delete this 1 S. So if I want to talk about my 2 dogs and their shared water bowl, I would say the dogs water bowl. All right, S apostrophe. Now, words that naturally end with an S, an S that isn't added to show plurality, still receives an apostrophe S, as in when showing possession. All right. So for example, and all this comes with names. Okay, buyers. I'm buyers. All right. Now, there are multiple buyers living in my home, but if I'm just talking about me, buyers. Okay, me. All right. It is my room. I'm talking about my room. Buyers is room. Okay. My name has an S on it because it just is. Even when we're just referring to me, buyers. Okay. So if I'm talking about the room in which buyers resides in, I do buyers room. Okay. Now the computer wants to say this is wrong. Because they don't even want to acknowledge my name. All right. Buyers room. All right. Oates. Last name ends with an S naturally. Her short story. Oates's story. Okay. So if it ends with an S naturally, all right, that's not showing plurality, just it ends with an S, you still add an apostrophe S. The only time you don't, which some of you might have experienced this in, I don't know, if you read a lot of religious books, okay, the only time, for whatever reason, I don't even understand why, but whatever, okay, religious names, okay, like Moses, Jesus. I can't think of any other ones. Okay. They're the only ones where you do just put an apostrophe. This is the one exception. I don't know why. If it's a religious name, you ignore correct grammar for God, for the prophets. Okay. But Jesus and Moses, those are the only names that have just an apostrophe. Oates is not a prophet. She's not a Messiah. She's not a prophet. Buyers, I'm definitely not. So we should have an apostrophe S. Okay. All right, there you go. There's your little grammar lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so this paper, even though this paper is a D, they did that correct. So way to go. Let's talk about why it's a D though. All right. All right. So here we have, in the first paragraph, we have this long quote. As Daphne Merkin states, the prevailing question about Oates is where her imaginative fantasies derive from, which has always seemed a mystery to me. We don't get a sense of blah 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 blah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 lines. Oh my God. There are multiple errors here. Okay. 1, simply, quote's way too long. Whether it's your introduction, conclusion, body paragraphs, way too long. You should never have a quote that's longer than 2 lines, really. Okay. So this quote's way too long. So that's an error. 2, the only number that should go in a parenthetical citation is a page number. Here, this person wrote paragraph 13. Say what? We don't cite paragraph numbers. Okay, so wrong. And then you don't even need a parenthetical citation because look, the person's name, the speaker's name was stated in the paragraph. I've gone over this in my lectures. It was on the quizzes. If you state the speaker's name in the sentence, then you don't include it in a parenthetical citation. So there shouldn't even be a parenthetical citation here, okay? At all. Next, we don't have in this introduction, there's no, let's see. Okay, so we do have the reference to the existential and feminist lens, but it's a little too early. All right. All right. So then we have this other right here. We have gender feminism as defined by Joan W. Scott and quoted by Helena Philippoussis posts that, and then we have quoted from right. But this is a completely incorrect parenthetical citation. As I discussed previously with the B paper, parenthetical citations and the use of quotes are absolutely necessary for this course. And everything about this is wrong. The number here is wrong. The comma here is wrong. The Joan W. Scott by this person, I mean, all of that is completely wrong. That's nowhere near what it is that I have taught. Okay. And then here we have the quote, and then this, highlighting how the car with its bold arch symbolizes Arnold's influence. Okay. So, I've discussed before is that don't refer to quotes as quotes in the paper. I've said this in my lectures. Don't refer to them as quotes. And then also, again, this is absolutely incorrect. It's incorrect. Parenthetical citations, just the last name, nothing else. So wrong. Okay. The story's existentialist themes further complicate the boundaries between reality and fantasy. Moral relativism, the idea that moral principles are not universal, blah, blah, blah. All right, so here's a problem here. Here we have, up here in the thesis statement, that's kind of off, existentialist themes. All right, that is the school of philosophy that's going to be discussed. The existential themes further complicate. Further, okay, this acts as if we've already kind of discussed some of these existential problems. All right. Now, this whole paragraph is about feminism. So this paragraph is not about existentialism. Okay. So then we have, so what is existentialism? Or in that case, relativism, because the rest of the paragraph now is about moral relativism. It changes topics. That's a problem. We can't have a claim about existential themes and a thesis that states existential themes, and then we change it to moral relativism. Okay. You write in your thesis and claim that you are going to apply an existentialist analysis, but the whole paragraph and discussion is on moral relativism. That's a problem. This is a problem. Right here, we have Arnold's friend's character. Okay, no, okay. R. Michael Furr's observation that, and then we have a capital letter. This is also an error. I didn't mark that one. That's an error. We don't have a capital letter at the beginning of a quote if the quote is preceded by the word like that. Okay, we only have a capital letter if the quote is preceded by a verb with a comma. So that's incorrect. All of this is incorrect. All right, and then we have this paragraph right here. The dreamlike quality of the narrative further blurs the lines between reality and fantasy. Kelly Benight's insight that everyone has woken up from a dream thinking it was real at some point in their lives, and the Joyce cares where you going, where have you been? The reader can conclude that this story is Connie's realistic dream, suggests that the story operates on a level of subconscious fears and desires. The surreal blah 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 blah. Okay, this paragraph is very problematic because this doesn't relate to the paper at all. It doesn't relate to the outline. It doesn't relate to the philosophy. It doesn't relate to the feminist lens. It doesn't relate to any of those things. And so it's a completely off-topic paragraph that's thrown in there. And I write very specific directions in the outline because part of this, y'all, is career training. Okay. When I've asked you to do something specifically, that's what I expect. And when you leave school with your degree, or you just go to other classes and you have other instructors, right? They will give you specific directions that they want you to follow. And like this paragraph is randomly inserted. It states this Kelly Benetti's person, okay? And when you go down to the works cited page, guess what? There is no Karen. Wait, is it Kelly or Karen? I wrote Karen, but oh, it's Kelly. It's not Karen. Sorry, Karen's out there. Okay. But there's no Karen Benetti stated here. All right. So it just feels like a random paragraph. I don't want to say it's copy and pasted and just thrown in here for filler. Okay, but it doesn't fit. It stands out. It is incorrect to have this here. Okay. So that's a problem. Okay. Through the use of feminist critique, existential themes, and rich symbolism, Joyce Carol Oates challenges readers to question the nature of reality, identity, blah, blah, blah. Can anybody guess what's wrong with this conclusion? Your conclusion is supposed to be on how you relate to one of the three things: the story, the lens, or the philosophy. And it doesn't do that. It doesn't do what I've asked you to do. Okay. So that's a problem. It's a problem. And then this starts too low. This should be moved up. Yep, we have these sources, but we're missing the Kelly source. All right. So this paper is a D. It follows the assignment somewhat, but then it gets way off course. It doesn't address the things that it says is going to address, and then addresses other things that it never even said that it was going to address. All right. It is too off focus. It is not consistent. All right. And so that's a problem. Okay. So this is a D paper. All right. I'm running out of battery soon. So we need to finally, this is an F paper. I'm on, this is by Joseph Brick because it was a brick of a paper. Okay. This paper is problematic for a couple of different things. It's problematic because it messes up the titles. This should be in italics. We have this sentence here. This aspect of the American's desire can be seen as her way of exercising her dominance, which recurs as capitalist domination. Okay, cool. I write, okay, what does that even mean? I write that because because there is no explanation. In what way? That's a statement without any analysis. All right. And so you can't just make these blanketed statements without explaining, college. I don't have to agree with your interpretation, but I have to believe that you have an interpretation. All right. You have to write it in a way that where you are fully explaining yourself. So that way I know exactly what it is that you are thinking. Okay. And this does not do it. There's not enough analysis. These paragraphs are shorter. They have a lot of times it's grammatically, stylistically incorrect. Okay. Titles are written incorrectly. And there's a bunch. Look, I've asked you to write 5 paragraphs: an introduction, a paragraph on the literary lens and the symbolism, a paragraph on one philosophical lens, and then applying that philosophical lens to the theme of the book, and then whether you liked it or not. 5 paragraphs, right? This essay has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 paragraphs. Okay. 15 paragraphs. And that's a problem. And this is what I wrote to the student. Okay. Because I went over this before. I believe much of your paper is AI generated. Did you watch my lecture on how I determine which papers are written by AI? Your paper contains all the main characteristics. I went over this the week before essay 1 was due. Words and phrases that are very academic and not common amongst freshmen. Way too many short, underdeveloped paragraphs. That's what AI does. It's quantity over quality. These paragraphs do not reflect the way I taught you to construct your body paragraphs. They are too brief, which is how AI generally creates them. It doesn't follow my outline. You have way more than I asked for in terms of paragraphs. And you did not have a paragraph on the overall theme, nor did your conclusion discuss how you relate to something from this paper. Okay. As I'll show you, let's see. Oops. Oh. Okay, dude. So this paragraph should be about theme. The background shows the main state, the train station, which represents the wilderness, the wilderness and loneliness in the society of the capitalist regime, and at the same time indicates existential loneliness that the characters are trapped in. The ephemeral nature of the station thus corresponds to the fleeting and mechanical relationship of capitalist society, therefore returning rigorously to the conception of existentialism and the solitary quest for meaning in a cold and indifferent world. AI. The performance of Marxist critical lens existential analysis of Ernest Hemingway's Hills Like White Elephants is informed by the fact that the story is a work replete with a solid research background. Okay, so I guarantee this person went to AI and said, write me a paper that applies a Marxist critical lens and existentialist analysis of Ernest Hemingway's Hills Like White Elephants. That's what they typed in. And all this is what's created. This final paragraph is not about whether they liked it or not, or what they thought, or how they related to it. Okay. It does not follow my outline. Okay. Now, I cannot take off points for my suspicion of AI usage, but I will take off points for all of the errors you made in general to this essay, which I did. There were this first there was a reference, there was a source used in it that was not put on the works cited page. These are all written incorrectly. I provided the citation for this source, but even if you didn't use it, the way you've written it is incorrect. Incorrect formatting. Okay. So where's your paragraph on theme? Lost points for that. Lost points for the conclusion not being correct. Lost point. I stopped reading after a while, and then jumped back in. All of this is incorrect. Okay. So this person received a very low F. All right. It does not pay to use AI. It's too obvious. I see it. And this is not a challenge. This is not like someone's like, okay, I'm gonna use AI, I'm gonna write a great essay. Okay, I'm not asking you, I'm not challenging you to do it. So please just follow my outlines. All right. So for essay 2, speaking of outlines, okay. All right. So outline 2, please follow the outline. All right, let's see if I can get through all this. Okay. I didn't listen. For outline 2, I looked it through to see if you had all your sources. Okay. If you had at least 3 sources, you have stuff written for all of it, I give you points. I don't think I took off any points, maybe 5 points at the most for incorrect grammar stuff. Okay. But just because I did not edit your outline for grammatical accuracy, do not mean that like it's okay the way you've written it. Okay. An outline should be informal. You shouldn't worry about like necessarily writing things correctly in an outline because it's about getting your ideas out. The shaping and editing of and putting things in correct MLA formatting, all that's for the paper. All right. So I did not take points off if you wrote things incorrectly. So like a lot of people did not write, it's like, for example, here, Augusta March. He didn't write Marriage Story correctly. That's the name of the film. Films, all films need to be in italics. Marriage Story, Midsummer, all those are in italics. Do not write a film's name in quotation marks, and don't write it in non-italics. It needs to be only, don't write it with quotation marks. Okay. So like, this is incorrect. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. The only thing that's correct is this one right here. Okay. So make sure you do that. All right. Here, I made sure that I want to make sure that you have the things you're going to discuss about. Body paragraph 1 is discussing Charlie singing this song from Company. All right. So like this right here, if this is in your paper, if this person is referencing another play, it needs to be in italics because it's the proper title for a production. All right. Body paragraph 2 is about the ghost costume of Charlie. All right. Okay. So like right here, okay, this should be, and like, again, I don't need this done in the outline. This is just when you're writing the paper, that's the way it should be. All right. All right. So I want to make sure that you had a topic that you wanted to discuss. The scene captures the emotional essence of the entire story. Seems ironic that Charlie sang the song being alive. Now look, remember, literary presence. Charlie sings. In the paper, it should be sings the song, because if I go to that exact spot in the film, Charlie's doing it. He's singing the song. So sings the song being alive from the musical Company in the bar where he and Nicole were last seen together with all their friends. Charlie's version of the song reveals rationalization of his feelings towards marriage and commitment. Towards the end of the song, he comes to realize that someone can make you feel alive by dealing with the struggles of life together. All right. Now, a lot of people, they would put a really long quote in their outline, which is totally fine. Again, your outline's like, my outlines, I had these huge chunks of quotes all in my outline, and then I would cut them up when I actually write my papers, okay, or when I would write my papers. So like here, this person put the entire list of the lyrics from the actual song. Cool. All right. But of course, though, when this person writes lines from this song, they're not going to include the entire song in their paper. Okay. They might do things like make me alive, Mark, someone crowd me with love, somebody forced me to care, somebody let me through. Also, if this person is going to quote multiple lines of this song, you don't have to make a separate line for each line. All you do is do a forward slash and then the next line that you want to do. Keep the and I would even just delete the periods, the punctuation there, okay? But like slash that right there, if they want to talk about those 3 lines right there, okay, that's how they would do that. And then here, if you're ever quoting a song, you do the songwriter. This is Sondheim, like that. All right. Okay, so that's good. All right, so like, again, this quote from Psychology Today, cool, great quote. Probably too long for the paper, so they'll need to cut that down. Here, I want to make sure everyone had their citations. I didn't take points off for them being written incorrectly. That's something you need to fix and make sure you notice when you write your paper. So for example, this one, Psychology Today is not in italics, as you just need to make sure you do when you write your paper. So that means that like, don't just take the original and copy and paste it and put it in your works cited page and not do anything with it. All right. It will be incorrect if you do that. So you need to, let's see, you need to make sure that you do that. All right. I'm going to pause recording. I'm going to run upstairs and plug in because my computer is going to die. All right. So 1 second. All right, everyone. Sorry, I'm back. It meant nothing for y'all. This is instant.
The recording was paused. All right, so again, here, Psychology Today would be in italics for the actual paper, all right? And so I say all that because I don't want people to feel like, oh, I got it 100. There was no errors at all. And then blame me for when you just copy and paste stuff straight from the outline to your essay and you don't change any of it or edit any of it, and then get upset when I take points off. Okay, so I think I graded outline 1 a little bit more rigidly. And outline 2, I just want to see that you're doing, you should have the most essential stuff, which is knowing what you want to discuss in each body paragraph, knowing, having a source that you're going to use in that paragraph, and then having a citation. But like I said, my outlines were always informal in that they were just copy and pasted, and I didn't care about necessary errors, okay? Because I'd fix those when I actually wrote my paper and edited it. Now, in terms of sources, so like this person here, he has multiple sources from the same publisher, Psychology Today, but they're different articles, which is great, okay? Some people's outlines have the same source for multiple paragraphs. And you gotta have, even if it's different quotes, it's not 3 different quotes, it's 3 different sources, all right? Now, like you could have 3 different Time magazine articles, as long as they're all written by different people and they're different articles. Heck, you can even have them by the same person, but they're different articles. So this person has Psychology Today article from Stephen Stosny, and a Psychology Today article from Mary Joan Gerson, okay? And that's fine, as long as they are different articles, okay? And then this person look, I would overall recommend the film, okay? So they were their personal, their brief little note to themselves of what they want to say. So this is good. This outline, I think this person they're set up to write a good paper if they are able to construct it well enough. Same way with like everyone, like there are people who have turned in good outlines, but then it's all about what you do with that outline for the final product. Let's look at another one. So like Johnny Green's outline, okay? Look, this is not really the same format necessarily that I laid out, but I don't care. It's fine. The Pursuit of Happiness. Again, Pursuit of Happiness needs to be in italics. Marxist analysis, okay? So we have this, we have all this stuff is laid out. Okay, socioeconomic struggles, all right? So we have a quote, we have our source citation, all right? Now the citation is not like, look, the citation is not fully fleshed out. I didn't take points off because they have the source, they have the citation, all right? So I know where the source came from. They on their own, when it comes to writing their actual paper, will need to finish the entire source. If they copy and paste this in their essay 1, then they're going to lose points because that's an incorrect citation, right? But I gave them points because at least they had the author of who said this. So same thing with this right here. This is incorrect formatting, but they have it though, at least. All right, so great. They're going to need to make this italics. They're going to have to do some hanging indents, okay, and make sure it's double spaced before writing their paper. All right. Okay. So your goal next week is to write the paper, write paper 2. Okay. What you need to do is you need to, well, okay, let's see here. You can do one of 2 ways. One, you could, before you write your paper, you should definitely look at essay 1 and read through all the things that I said that you needed to do. All right. You need to go through and you need to read my comments. I'll have comments on every single person's paper. All right. So you need to read the mistakes you made and make sure you do not commit those again. All right. Now, what I think you should do is after reading that, then you go to your outline and you flesh out 1 paragraph at a time. Just write, if you're watching this now, then, let's say You watch this today. That's Monday. Tuesday, write your introduction. Wednesday, write your body paragraph 1. Thursday, write body paragraph 2. Friday, write body paragraph 3. Saturday, 4. And then Sunday, write your conclusion, which is the easiest one because it's all about you. It's just your own personal feelings, what you believe, okay? And then edit it. Make sure that it is double spaced. Make sure your heading's correct. Make sure all your quotes are integrated. And then pull back up essay 1 and look at the errors you made in essay 1. And then look at essay 2 and make sure you're not making the same errors. You got to fix your errors because if you score better on essay 2 than you scored on essay 1, I will change your essay 1 grade. I mean, I've already discussed this, through an email, so you should know this. But in case you didn't read my announcements, if you score better on essay 2 than essay 1, I will change your grade. So if this person right here, Ashley Campbell, which is not really her name, made an 80 on essay 1, but then after she writes her essay 2 and she edits it and she makes sure that she does not make any of these same mistakes and it's perfect, and she makes a 95 on essay 2, then her essay 1 grade will be changed to a 95. All right. If this person right here who made a D, they didn't make a D because they turned it in late. They turned it in on time, Lydia Smith, but they made a 70 because of all their errors. If this person makes a 90, a 95, or 100, which you can make a 100. This student right here that I showed you, this A example is actually a 100. There was no errors. And I love giving out 100s. It makes my job super easy. So if you had a 70 on the first paper, you turned it in on time, but you just had errors that brought you down to a 70. And then essay 2 is a 100, then I will change essay 1 to a 100 as well. All right. Now, this will also be for essay 3, but essay 3's essay does not change essay 1's grade. All right. The only way to change essay 1's grade is to perform better on essay 2. All right. So write your paper. Now, the reason why I say write one paragraph at a time is because it's like if you were going to run a 10K, 6 miles, all right, you have a week, you have to run 6 miles, okay, and you'll get paid for how fast you run each mile, all right. You will have a better score, a better mile timing if you ran just 1 mile a day. That 1 mile you sprint, and then day 2 you sprint. You run as fast as you can. You cannot run. I mean, some people can, but most people cannot sprint for 6 miles. You get worn out. You start to go down. The quality of your run is lower. All right. But if you sprint, if you run just 1 mile a day, then you can stay consistently high. And that's how it is with writing. If you write, the first paragraph you write is always going to be great because you are using 100% of your brain. But as you write your paper, your brain strength, your endurance is going to go down, and you're going to be tired. You're going to be annoyed. You're going to be, I just want to get over with this. Blah 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 blah. So you should give yourself plenty of time and just focus on 1 paragraph a day. Write that paragraph, reread that paragraph, edit that paragraph. You can spend an hour or 2 hours working on that 1 paragraph. And then also that's great because you're not editing an entire paper. You're just editing, you're writing and editing 1 paragraph. And the next day you're editing and writing 1 paragraph. And the next day you're writing and editing 1 paragraph. And you just do this 5 times over. And so you're getting like 100% of your brain to each paragraph rather than 100 and then 90 and then like 80 and then like 60 and below. All right. So it's about quality of work. All right. So that's what I think you should do this week. You want to flesh out your outline. If you have the outline, if you did it, you know that, like, look, this body paragraph, all I'm discussing is this. I got to explain this. I got to prove it from my film, and I need to use this quote. Okay, that's it. The final thing I want to discuss real fast is citing a film. All right, citing a film. And I'll copy and post this link. Okay, how to cite a film in MLA. So movie. All right, so you need to look at the director. All right, so let's say I want to do Marriage Story. Marriage Story. Okay, I go to IMDb. Oh, I did Candyman, but I'm just gonna do Marriage Story. This is on my brain. Marriage Story. Gnome. I should have known that because I knew that. This is like an autobiography. It's pretty much autobiographical. If you didn't know that. Adam. Oops. Bomba. Marriage Story. All right, studio. Let's see here. No, I don't want any of this. Well, you find the studio. I'm just gonna lie for the sake of this because there's no point of watching me do this. So we'll just say, oh, wait, here. Oh, it's Netflix. Duh. Netflix. Year 2020? 2019. All right. All right, so there it is. Copy citation. And you can put that in your outline if you want to. So when you are citing this in your story, when you are citing this in your paper, you're just going to be typing Marriage Story. Okay, Marriage Story. It's going to look like that, Marriage Story, or whatever title it is that you are going by. Technically speaking, when you're quoting from a film, if you're writing a formal paper that you're going to publish, you would actually put the time, the minutes in which these scenes occurred. I'm not asking you to do that at all. Okay. So right here, let's say if this person quotes Nicole at some point, all right, Nicole, I don't know, Nicole screams out, "You bastard." Okay, then here you'd put Marriage Story. Okay, you would not need to put the time that happened. I know some of you are going to watch this and you're going to go online and you're like, oh, I have to put the time in it, and you're going to do it, whatever. Okay, but you don't have to. But you do need to put, again, and the reason why, if this paper was only about your film and nothing else, then you wouldn't even need to really cite it because there's only one source. But because every paragraph is going to include a quote from a secondary source, you do need to cite when you are quoting from the source or quoting from your secondary source or quoting from your primary source. Okay, so you put the title of the film in citations like that. All right, and then when you are citing the film, you do the title, directed by, comma, the production company, comma, and the year it was published, and put period. I will copy and paste this, and I'll put this just in an announcement. Actually, you don't even need to use Grammarly. It's pretty easy to write. All right, I think that's everything I want to cover today. My dog in the background is really annoying me. So go over graded essay 1, did it. Writing tips for essay 2, did it. Good outlines, did it. Citing films, boom, done. All right, we have one guest, Savannah. Do you have any questions that you want me to answer?
No, I think you covered everything.
Well, let's hope. I mean, this is like an hour, so yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
If I did not answer everything, y'all could feel free to send me an email, let me know. And
Thank you.
if you need anything, and I'll be around.
Thank you so much. Have a
Cool.
good day.
You too. Bye-bye.